From the historic sports arena in Hutchinson, Kansas, it's the 2026 Credit Union 1 NJCAA Division I Men's Championship Semifinals presented by Zurich. It's the number 1 seeded Howard Hawks and the reigning champion Trinity Valley Cardinals. And good evening, welcome inside the sports arena here in Hutchinson, along with Scott. I'm Ethan Jordan. Scott Hogan, Ethan Jordan, glad you're with us. Our guy Mike Quaid running the show behind the scenes. Scott, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And this is a Howard Hawks team that has been tested during this tournament, but their biggest test might come tonight in a Cardinals team that put on a show in the quarterfinals.
Well, what a show that Howard-Butler game was. Double overtime, most ever points combined. Howard survives, so you got the number 1 overall seed taking on the defending champion. What more could you ask for in our first semifinal?
Drawn up pretty darn well, I would say. As you take a look at the statistics, both these teams hang their hats on their defense. Trinity Valley quite literally some nights wears it on their back. And so forget those stats. They're going to be lower, I think, than those numbers tonight, Scott. Yeah,
the one that really sticks out is the turnovers, about 4 less per game, almost 5 less per game for Trinity Valley. They take excellent care of the basketball, and they played a lot of up-tempo teams, so we'll watch for that tonight. And usually Howard, a few more points a game, that gets skewed a little bit when you put up 138 in the quarters.
Well, Zatu Lubaki was last year's tournament MVP. He's off to a good start in this tournament, and Terry Copeland is out to something a little more than good. An unbelievable start to this tournament. The big fella shooting about 80% in the tournament. That, yes, you heard that right, 80%, averaging 31 points a game in this tournament.
He's put 2 31-point, 11 rebound games together. He did that in only 28 minutes because he didn't play the last part of regulation or the overtime. So 31 and 11, 27 of 34 from the floor. He is a beast.
And the semifinals are underway. Lubaki wins the tip for the reigning champion Cardinals, 30-5 on this year. Here is Monty Henderson, critical in their comeback win against NOC Enid and Monroe. First touch for Canary, could not finish over Copeland. And that's how our ball game gets underway.
That physicality of Copeland, he had Canary way further out than Canary wanted to be comfortable, and oh boy, almost an over and back, and then a double or carry.
And so Dang, who was so spectacular for Howard in the quarterfinal, commits the turnover. We talk about nerves in the first game of this tournament for a team. I think that gets redone here in the semifinals and the finals. When that happens, I think there might be a little bit of nerves, at least for Howard College. Maybe a little better for Trinity Valley because, well, a lot of these guys have been here before.
Been here, done there last year, and definitely some nerves it looked like from Dang there, that turnover.
Wardlow kicks it off. Another go for Canary. Tough defense again from Howard. Culverson kicks for Pleasant, his 3 offline.
Boy, Pleasant came in cold, only played 3 minutes, but hit 2 free throws and what looked like the game-winning 3 in regulation, but it turned out to take a little bit more than that.
Wenger, hand in his face. He doesn't care. The first bucket goes to the champs.
Boy, Braylon Wenger, man, right in his face. It didn't matter. And there you can see the comfortable start from Trinity Valley.
Wenger was on this team that won a championship last year. Dang along the baseline. Big 6'11" forward out of France. Kick now. First work for Copeland. Double team. Goes right through it. Couldn't finish. A rare missed shot in this tournament for Terry Copeland.
And there, you knew that was going to happen. Trinity Valley's got to bring an extra man on Copeland when he gets the ball in the paint to prevent one of those 31-point outings.
Wenger trying to find a clear lane to the basket. He is fouled by Dang. 2 free throws coming up for the sophomore from Ohio.
Oh, I love that aggressiveness there from Wenger. Saw just enough of a crease to get in the paint, draw the contact, get to the line early. You mentioned Dang. They readjusted something after the game, and we look at the stats. He had a triple-double in the Butler game, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, and that was huge considering Copeland had fouled out towards the end of regulation.
That game in general was just bananas, if we're being quite frank.
Yes.
Butler and their high-octane style ended up setting a tournament scoring record between the two teams, going to double overtime. One of the coaches, I don't remember who it was not Kyle Cooper, as one of the other coaches who had watched Butler's first game said he could not believe their style of play. He had never seen someone press on the guard who received the tip, the opening tip.
Yeah, they double right immediately off the opening tip, and that's why Butler was so much fun. They gave us two of the best games in this tournament against Snow and against Howard. Maybe the game of the tournament. We'll see. This could be a great one as well.
Bodies hit the floor. Terry Copeland has his first bucket here in the semifinal.
Yeah, you saw Desiree go down. Copeland, that big physical frame. He is just fun to watch. He's got to be huge tonight for the Hawks. They get on the board about 2.5 in.
He is quite literally huge. I mean physically. He is 6'9". We think about 250. From Daniel Culberson as he first foul. He was another guy who fouled out in that double overtime game for Howard. And they were able to survive. Before he left, he gave him 9 assists.
Yeah, he had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. That was a solid all-around game from Culberson. And we had guys in that game that rarely played in the tournament.
MJ Wardlow tries a triple. Rebound nicely done by Dang.
It's a good look for Wardlow. They'd love him to get going, averages 12 a game.
Right back to the well. Copeland gets his first foul. I think they're going to get.
I think Lubaki.
Yeah, Lubaki with this one. Let's see.
And you see the keys to the game. Dominate inside with Howard. You got to limit the turnovers against Trinity Valley. They do a lot with those turnovers. On the other side, when you get the turnovers, you got to score. And you've already seen it. You got to double. Help defense down in the paint. Unfortunately, for Trinity Valley, got one of your best players, if not the best, his first foul.
Oh. Somehow that went in for Copeland.
Copeland typically at the line, 65.5%, 66% foul shooter, so not bad for a big man. He's got nice touch.
Well, we've seen him be able to shoot the three this year, not something he's done in the tournament, but he can shoot it. Darrell Desiree has checked in for Trinity Valley. Some more size to combat Copeland, 6'11", sophomore out of London.
I guess when you're shooting 27 of 34 from the floor, he didn't have a three-point attempt in the Butler game, but that's because they got him the ball 2 feet from the basket.
You said it, I think, about MJ Wardlow and how much Trinity Valley is going to need his offense tonight. Another returner from last year. Step back, Henderson could not hit it. Rebound tapped out. It will stay. So the Cards, plenty of time on the timer as it reset to 20.
Right there, Desiree making his impact. Had an offensive rebound, but got to squeeze it a little harder. Copeland was able to get his hand in there, knock it out of bounds. But you like that from Desiree right off the bench going at Copeland.
Hand off to Wardlow. Turns around in the lane. Wide left, another rebound for Copeland.
And how much was that? He wanted to go right up with it. Saw Copeland in there, took a much more difficult shot.
Dang, looks like he wants to go to work with the mismatch. Working on Graham. Denied access to the paint. Instead it's a handoff. Ivory long two, rattles it home.
I like the decision by Dang there. A lot of guys would have went ahead and forced that up. We still had 10 on the shot clock, kick it out, and you got a nice move and baseline jumper from Winger.
Trinity Valley has just hit one shot from the floor to start this game, 1 of 6. Find themselves down 6-5. Henderson trying to give the slip to Culberson. Now it's Wardlow into a crowd, turns around, is fouled. And that's a tough beat foul for Howard. A difficult shot for Wardlow, and they bail him out for 2 shots at the line when we return here in Hutchinson. The number 1 seeded Howard Hawks, the smallest of leads as we go to a break. The Back inside the sports arena in Hutchinson. Semifinal action. Howard leads it 6-5 over Trinity Valley. And Trinity Valley, just look at those points per half. 17 points in the first half for NOC Eden. They turned the defense up to 1,000 and just put away Cinderella.
It was a 9-9 game. They went on a 27-0 run and basically ended the game when there was still probably 28 minutes to play, and that was an impressive performance. Points in the paint. When we get to the little last game out for Howard, we'll compare that. That was a great game. It was an insane game for Howard. And another thing to mention, before we went to break, they were just trying to decide who that last personal foul was on, and it was a big call because it went on Dang for Howard, and that is his second. He had to check out.
He played with 4 fouls for a good chunk of that bonkers game against Butler and did so well. They need him to stay in this game. Though, to be fair, Copeland sitting at 0 right now, which I think you would take. And there's a little push from Davin Mercer.
Yeah, they brought in Victor Yingma in replace of Dang. He is quite a bit more size out there as well. 6'8" freshman out of France.
Yeah, averaging about 17 minutes per game during the regular year, but we haven't seen him as much in the tournament. Inbound is tipped by Wardlow. He takes it away. Wenger on the drive is stripped out of bounds.
Oh, I think they got a foul there.
Oh, on Copeland, you're right. And there I go saying he has no fouls, and there's number 1.
Well, he was already released down the floor, so he comes sprinting back from behind the play. You thought he was going to get a steal, but right across the wrist, Copeland picks up his first, and free throws coming up for Trinity Valley.
And I think if Terry Copeland had been able to ask Kyle Cooper in the half second before he made his decision what to do, I think Coach Cooper said just give him the layup.
Back off, yep. Copeland 1 of 2 from the floor so far. He's hit both his foul shots, so 4 points for him. But Trinity Valley, nice little run. They trailed early, now up 3.
And they've done all of this on free throws. They've still just hit 1 shot from the floor. It was that early 3. Has been at the line.
To 6 free throw shooting. Outstanding out of the gate. They typically hit 73% as a team.
Underneath, Copeland, the catch in deep is blocked. That doesn't happen often. Durrell Desiree says, I'm 6'11", got this handled.
Well,
All right.
You thought it was going to be the old-fashioned perfect high-low post. Yingma threw a good pass down in there, but Desiree, boy, like you said, Copeland's not going to get his shot blocked very often. That was great defense.
Still just 1 of 6 from the floor for Howard, out of bounds. Ivory will reset things.
Early on, the turnovers, just a couple on Howard. Right now, Trinity Valley, 0.
Wardlow using a screen from Desiree. Throws it up, throwing it down is Najee Graham.
Oh, perfect backdoor cut by Graham and Wardlow. You thought he was going to take it right up. Well, he did, but it was a pass to Graham for the throwdown, and the run continues for Trinity Valley.
Emphatic first 2-point field goal for the Cardinals. Trying to end the run, and likely to do so at the line is Terry Copeland.
Boy, Desiree was dancing up and down after that foul whistle. He didn't think he did much, but we've talked about it. Big men like Copeland, there's times where you think, watch the physical play here. I think that last little, he brought the arm down to get that. They're going to get a lot of calls, and sometimes you think, well, you're not calling any fouls on those big guys, but that, I hate to say it, that's just the way it is in today's basketball with a big physical specimen like that.
Well, let's be frank. Copeland probably gets fouled on half the baskets he makes, but because he's so big and physical,
he doesn't get that whistle.
So it kind of goes both ways. Lubaki returns for Trinity Valley.
And if my math is right, I think Howard led this 6-3, so it'd be an 8-0 run, which Copeland missed both.
So he's unable to stop the bleeding here for Howard.
Well, you know, Howard not going to get frustrated, maybe just a little concerned right now that things haven't gone their way here in the first 5.5 minutes.
Especially with the defense they played. It's, like we said, it's been at the line that this has all gone on. Wardlow, 3 on the timer. Lubaki puts up a 3. Missed it badly, and here comes Culberson. Pulls up. Can't connect. We knew this would be a defensive battle. Has been so far.
Boy, Howard really picked their defensive pressure up on that last possession, forced a bad shot deep into the shot clock.
Wenger puts it on the deck, gets in deep, rolls it over the rim and in.
Boy, went and attacked the defense, went over top of Copeland, who's a little hesitant to pick up a second foul this early in the game, and Wenger finishes. It's a 9-0 run. Actually, it's a 10-0 run.
3 from an unlikely spot, and Yingma, who can shoot the 3, just doesn't shoot them often. And good transition defense from Culberson to prevent the easy bucket.
Lubaki had bad intention in his eyes receiving that. He wanted to throw down, and fortunately for the Hawks, Culberson able to get a hand in there. So we got shake up in the lineup. Dang back out on the floor with 2 fouls. Also Pleasant and Tish, a lot of subs. And I also believe Trinity Valley brought in Mercer.
And Howard brings in for the first time one of the heroes, really, of the Butler game, Haruna Sangara, who had barely played in this tournament and came in and hit clutch free throw after clutch free throw for that shortened Howard team in double overtime.
I was thinking everybody was going to get in that game the way the fouls were racking up, and they darn near did.
Lubaki wants to take this game over. Can't hit the J. Henderson the offensive board. Another chance at it for Trinity Valley. Wenger, hand in his face, missed badly. Seen a couple threes that have been off. Fight for the rebound. It is loose. A scrum inside the painted area. And the possession arrow favors Howard.
I think we have 4 or 5 bodies. Oh, somebody got inadvertent hand in the face there as we came up. I think that getting that was Desiree. But
well, a lot of talking coming out of that pile. And, well, we'll look at the physical play here. We know we're going to see it tonight, but it's just described in this rat's nest that.
Yeah, you had people diving over top of people there, and that's where people get upset when you dive over somebody to get to the loose ball. They feel like they're fouled, but the officials can hardly see anything going on in there. They're just trying to keep everybody's cool.
The way these two teams play basketball, especially on the defensive end, there is going to be frustration tonight. That is not the last of it, I would think.
Well, I think we're just getting started.
Drives and is fouled by Lubaki. You can't believe it.
Which, let's double check. I think that may be his second.
Yep.
Seems like he had an early one. And boy,
it is his second.
Dang and Lubaki here. You see it, boy, not a whole lot there, maybe a little reach in. And so Dang and Lubaki, key components of each of these teams with 2 fouls before our second media timeout. That'll be something to watch.
Lubaki 0 for 2 from the floor. Sangara puts it in. The freshman is making his mark on this tournament.
Well, people, the X factor stepping up when you had to have him. You had to have him in the Butler game. You desperately needed a basket here to stop that 10-0 run, and Sangara buried it from straight away.
Graham rises and hits with the friendly roll.
Boy, Graham got the alley-oop. He was a recipient on that. Nice soft touch on that baseline jumper from about 12 feet.
Drive to the rim from Tish Banyu. He is toppled into the stanchions.
Yeah, it might be Graham on the other end. We'll wait for the official. We got screened out.
He was all over him. There's a couple of black jerseys there, but free throws coming for one of the leaders of this team. But on the other end, the lob and the jam. Trinity Valley leads it by 6. Well, if you like defense, you've come to the right place. Trinity Valley and Howard scrapping. If you like basketball,
Oof.
you would have liked this one. 134-128, double overtime. Our first double OT in the tournament since the mid-2000s. And Kawhi Dang's triple-double lifts Howard over a pesky, annoying, and I mean that complimentarily, Butler team.
We talked about how big those 52 points in the paint were for Trinity Valley. How about 84 in the paint in that game for Howard? Butler took 101 field goal attempts and 53s in that game.
I think I reacted similarly when you said that in Howard's last game, or the game the other night, Scott. Just hearing 101 field goal attempts is bonkers. Tonight, though, Trinity Valley has limited Howard in the paint. Tish Bangu hits the pair. Just 2 points in the paint from Terry Copeland. That's it.
And no offensive rebounds yet for Howard, only 2 for Trinity Valley. It has been brutal in the paint.
Henderson working on the good defense of Tish Bangu to the corner. Wenger connects.
How about the start for Braylon Wenger? He buries that deep corner triple. And a 7-point advantage.
Shots are starting to go in for Trinity Valley. The answer, Tish Bangu can't provide it. Sangara, the rebound and the easy layup.
Sangara, he's hit a triple. Now he gets an offensive, the first for Howard, and puts it back. He's got 5 points.
He's also Howard's leading scorer. Graham, no. And Copeland toes the line with the rebound.
Boy, Graham tried that double move, just came up a little short with the left hand.
During the regular year, Sangara averages 6 points. He's got 5 here in the national semifinal in the first half. Copeland is hounded and fouled. Yeah, 2 guys hanging all over him. The foul is against Graham. Desiree had the bigger reaction. I think he thought it was against him, says what I do. Apparently nothing. Graham was the culprit.
Well, look at the physicality getting after Copeland once he got the ball. We knew they would do that. I mean, that has to be the game plan. And I think we already had a bench warning issued there during the foul call on Greg Heyer over there on the Trinity Valley bench.
Intensity. That would be the word to describe Greg Heyer. Oh. Kawhi Dang says, let me just take this game over for a couple seconds.
That physical move by Dang. You expect it from Copeland, but Dang gets to his first basket of the game, and creeping back within 3 come the Hawks, getting close to the midway point of our first of 2 semifinals.
Henderson lobs it in. Foul previous to that, a hold. I think they're going to get Culberson for this one. Remember, he fouled out in that Butler game, and he's already got 2 here in this semifinal.
He got some early foul issues for some of the teams. Several players now have racked up 2 fouls.
That is something to think about, though, with this physical defense. We knew there'd be foul troubles. It might be who can keep their guys on the court the way this one's going right now.
Yeah, at least Howard has some experience with that.
Graham rolls it off back iron. Henderson the rebound. No foul, but it's out of bounds off the Hawks. And an inbound coming. Monty Henderson, right place, right time, as he is so often.
Yeah, nice tip out to Henderson, and I think that was Copeland. Got a hand on the putback attempt.
Wenger, deep range. Could not hit the 3. Rebound tip to Graham. He kicks it out. Wardlow cannot hit either. And another try for Trinity Valley.
That was Henderson again keeping it alive.
3rd time's the charm. No. And finally, Copeland collects for Howard.
Boy, you're just not used to seeing a Howard Hawk team give up offensive rebound after offensive rebound there. They gave up, I think, 3 of them in that possession. They're going to have to shore that up a little bit.
Culberson streaking to the cup. Kind of got stuck in between, couldn't finish. Canary, the rebound. Well, Henderson motors in, flips it up and in.
How about Monty Henderson getting into the paint after getting an offensive rebound or two on that last possession? He says, I think I'll take it to the rim this time.
His floater game is excellent, Scott. Ivory puts it in. Much needed three to pull them within two. And don't let that guy get hot. Brandon Ivory has been their sharpshooter here in this tournament.
He has. That's only his second field goal attempt, but he's made both now. He's got 5.
Near steal. Wardlow able to clean it up for the Cardinals. Canary, very high post. A Wenger. No, but the follow is there for Canary.
I'm not sure if it was a shot or a pass by Wenger off of that tough spin to his left in the lane, but it didn't matter. Canary, Johnny on the spot, the slammer home. That was a big deuce because you felt like Howard starting to gain a little momentum here.
Ivory with that last triple. Culberson, sophomore point guard of this team, trying to get it to his big man inside. Could not thread the needle.
And you had the switch if you were Howard. You had a guard.
And Scott, that's going to be another foul against the Hawks as they near the bonus. This one going against Sangara. The two teams will get some water, cool off, repair cuts, fix bruises. I don't know. Canary with the throwdown. Trinity Valley by 4. Trinity Valley leads it by 6. Head coach Greg Heyer, 2-time national champion, trying to make it 3-time. Won it with Trinity Valley last year, a few years ago with Northwest Florida State. He's made a couple stops since then. But he, as we told you, Mr. Intensity. He pushes these players unbelievably.
And
you should hear him tell some of the stories, but whatever he does works.
Yeah, proven track record, needless to say. 2 natties looking for a 3rd.
Mercer the step through. Tough catch for Canary. Henderson surveying. Mercer on the drive, pulls up. Ooh, pure from Davin Mercer.
I love Mercer. The tendencies to go all the way in. He stops, gets that little mid-range jumper. So the bigs were not a factor in that beautiful little shot on the baseline there for Mercer.
Ivory turns the corner. Trying to dump it down low. It's batted away. A steal for Davin Mercer. On the other end, he takes it to the 10, throws it up and in.
You talk about defense creating offense. Well, Mercer created it for himself. Gets the steal, gets the finish. And all of a sudden, a little push here by the Cardinals.
Tishbangu creating space, cans the jumper.
He's had some big moments in this tournament so far, and right now Howard needs somebody other than Braylon Winger to start pouring it on. Winger's got 12. Nobody else with more than 4 right now.
Yeah, Winger has been the man for Trinity Valley, to your point, Scott. 12 points. They've only gotten 4 from anybody else, and yet they have this lead. Canary can't put it in. And yeah, Howard needs somebody like a Wenger, maybe a collective team effort to counter what Tishbangu might be the guy for the job. Finds an open man. Oh, yeah. His second 3 goes down. He's a guy who's been forced into action with some of the fouls, and he has provided good minutes for Howard.
Yeah, maybe it's Victor Yingma tonight, as you got Sankara and Ivory with 5. I misspoke a little bit ago who was leading the way. So maybe it's somebody unknown tonight, like a Yingma.
So many quote-unquote unknown guys come through for them in that Butler game. Granted, they also got 31 apiece from 2 of their stars, but the point remains, and the Trinity Valley defense forces a shot clock violation, or rather the Howard defense forces a shot clock violation. 2 can play at this game. The Hawks really do hang their hat on their defense. We've talked so much about Copeland and the way that they were able to score in that Butler game, but defensive identity is their main deal.
Yeah. And typically, is it Trinity Valley that wears defense on the back of their shirts, or is it Howard? They don't have those particular jerseys on tonight, but that's the MO for both of these teams.
They both could. It is Trinity Valley who has the gray jerseys that do literally say defense on the back of them. Ivory feels the trap. Another three. No. Couldn't go back-to-back for Yingma.
That was a quick double team out on the wing. We hadn't seen that much yet in this game from Trinity Valley. But you got another good look for Yingma. He'll take that shot each time down the floor. But
Wardlow probing, puts it up. Bullseye! MJ Wardlow creates a three off the dribble. And it's back to a 6-point Cardinals lead.
I thought he was about lost it out of bounds. He regained control and just decided, I'm going to go ahead and take the triple, and it was nothing but nylon for Wardlow.
Oh, really nice pass and rhythm to Dang. He does the rest. Another assist for Tishbenyu, and they need a guy to kind of settle them down to make that big play. We saw him hit the two. We saw him with the assist there. Tishbenyu seems to be the man for the job for Howard. Wardlow trying to heat up. Going to do it there, but he's got help. Desiree with the jam, and we've got a player down after the dunk.
Is that? I think it's Dang, I believe, that's down.
Yeah, he's shaken up. They will attend to him as we step aside here in Hutchinson. Trinity Valley, the champs, with a 6-point lead here in the semifinals, trying to go back-to-back here, 25-26. (31-25) the lead. They were looking at an upgrade when Dang went down after that dunk. There was nothing to see there, I guess, and so play on. Kyle Cooper, just his third season, formerly a D1 assistant. He's been around the NJCAA forever. Played in JUCO, coached in JUCO before going to Tarleton State. He's one of the 3 coaches in this semifinal that played JUCO basketball, Scott.
You got to like that, going back to the grassroots for the coaching hire there. We will say Dang was able to walk over to the bench on his own power, and we haven't mentioned that their bench is a little shorter. Oscar Stumer, he was injured in their previous game. He's in street clothes tonight with an injury from that game, so the bench a little shorter, so foul issues could hurt Howard a little bit, as Stumer plays a lot of minutes typically.
Yeah, really an anchor for their defense and ball movement. Not a huge scorer, but a very quality rebounder and passer. Going to the University of Denver next year. Unavailable tonight. Copeland, just a swarm of Cardinals all over him, forcing a jump ball. As soon as he touches that rock, Scott, there are 3 or 4 Trinity Valley players all up in his business.
You can just watch from a wide shot. When he's trying to post up, every other player for Trinity Valley is already hedging off of their man and knowing it. The immediate time that Copeland touches the ball, he's going to have a double team on him. It is a great defensive strategy, and so far, well executed for Greg Heyer's team.
If you knew if there was one defense that was going to solve him, it was going to be this one. And so far, so good. Wenger, hand in his face. Whoa. That missed everything and hit the baseline out of bounds. Howard basketball.
Well, Wenger had been 3 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 5 behind the arc, has hit all 4 of his free throws. That one maybe rushed a little bit, altered a little bit or something. It won't prohibit him from taking another one on the next possession, what we know from these players. But yeah, 6-point advantage right now for the champs.
Kuai Dang has returned for the Hawks. That's good to see. Some fairly extended minutes compared to the rest of the tournament for Singara here in this one, Scott.
I think they're kind of leaning on that momentum that he had yesterday from the win. Let's see if we can capitalize again today with that.
Ivory high off the glass.
How about Brandon Ivory, 3 of 3 from the floor. Beautiful floater off the window. He is now the leading scorer in this game for the Howard Hawks. He's got 7.
Trinity Valley has had a medium to marginal lead throughout most of this first half. Can't grow it there with the Graham J. Ivory penetrates, flies, cannot finish, but a foul called. And we'll go to the line. It is on Darrell Desiree. That is the 7th team foul on Trinity Valley, so bonus the rest of the way. The 2nd on the big man Desiree.
Here's the drive again. There you see the foul, but also look, Dang was right there in great offensive rebounding position. If there wasn't a foul, they were going to have a good chance at a putback.
Ivory, for as good of a shooter as he is, he's not a huge free throw shooter, just 66% this year. For the sophomore from Columbus.
Look at the offensive rebounds right now. It's setting 7-1 in favor of Trinity Valley. But the second chance points are even at 2, so they haven't been able to do a lot with those offensive rebounds, more keeping possessions alive as neither team ripping the nets in this game so far. 38% for Trinity Valley, and, well, I misspoke, 53% for Howard, just they've taken 10 less shots.
2-point lead, the closest it's been since about the 15 minute mark. Gotten it this close before, but always an answer from Trinity Valley, and now Howard has a chance to tie or take the lead.
You always talk about weather in the early storm. It wasn't a big storm, but Howard has settled in and a chance, as you mentioned, to tie or take the lead.
Sangara had Dang, but he has the ball taken from him. Wenger came up with it, gets it on the trail, drives the lane, cannot finish. And Copeland ropes it in. Now in a hurry, Tishbangu. Dang working on the block. He gets in trouble, kicks it out. Now Copeland will try his luck. He also gets doubled, trying to find the open guy. Tishbangu cannot hit the 3. And Copeland loses it out of bounds. It is staying with Howard. Trinity Valley and their faithful behind their bench do not like it. But what did you expect? Them to enjoy it? No. And Kyle Cooper wants to take a timeout. So timeout Howard, 31-29. The lead for Trinity Valley is now Coach Cooper can draw something up here in the half court for his team, Scott.
Yeah, and you talk about Copeland. I was trying to just watch the body language. I mean, because he is just, as we see some of the highlights,
well,
beautiful on the baseline there.
If these are Howard, it's going to be all Brandon Ivory.
Yeah, Ivory has had the touch early on. Here's that runner. Way high off the window. But again, I was watching Copeland's body language. He's trying not to get frustrated. But as you mentioned, I mean, they are just all over him. 2 and sometimes 3 guys. And Greg Heyer has just basically said, Terry Copeland is not going to beat my team tonight. We are going to double him every time he touches. And he's only taken 4 shots.
He has gotten a couple of guys into mild foul trouble for Trinity Valley. Zati Lubaki has sat for a while with 2 fouls. Darrell Desiree has 2, as does Davin Mercer. So there is that, I guess, for Howard. And despite his struggles, they're still within 2 of the defending national champions.
Yeah, I had forgotten Lubaki. They're doing that. We're going to set you the rest of the half. You're going to play the second half with just 2 fouls.
He has not had a huge impact on this game, which is strange for last year's tournament MVP. Dang, working against a smaller defender, cannot get the bounce. And Najee Graham doing dirty work again.
Oh, he screened off Copeland in there. Graham, what a fantastic rebound. Good. The defense stepping up for Trinity. Feel the momentum into the locker room.
Wenger nearly got it poked by Sangara, but it goes out of bounds off his touch.
You mentioned Sangara. What a first half he has played. A lot more minutes than we expected. 5 points. He's got a rebound in the ball game. And pretty good defense there, nearly the steal.
Henderson dancing. Gonna reset it. 5 to shoot. Monty Henderson floats it up. Off back iron. Battle for the rebound, won by Howard. And we've got about 2.5 seconds separating shot and game clock here at the end of half number 1 in the national semifinal.
I think no doubt about it, Howard's going to try to, in effect, take the last shot of the half. They'll keep it in Tish Bangyu's hands. I like that.
Ivory, 4 to shoot on the drive. Oh, the finish and the foul.
Oh, Ivory has been the savior here in the first half for the Hawks. He's into doubles with 11 and a chance to give Howard the lead. And it seems like they've been trailing the whole entire half as we watch it again. The help defense, I think they got Graham. Yes, that's his second. And the finish, and you can see the pose on the ground for Brandon Ivory, who has not missed a shot in the first half. All 4 of his field goals good, 1 3-pointer, 2 for 2 here at the charity stripe. Chance for the lead. How big is that for Howard?
Absolutely huge, and he can give them their first lead since 16:24 to play, and does just that. So, and Henderson loses the ball on the inbound. This will make this tough, and misses, and that is going to be an interesting locker room for Trinity Valley. Howard with a 1-point lead into the break as the Hawks storm back at the end of the half. The number 1 seed leads the national semifinal by 1 at the break. Coming up, we'll give you some highlights and talk to the head of the basketball committee, D1, Tom McDonald. That's all coming up at the half right here on ESPN+. It's Howard 32, Trinity Valley 31 at halftime.
We're at halftime of our first of 2 semifinals here at the 2026 NJCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. And right now it is the overall number 1 seed Howard Hawks on top of defending champion Trinity Valley 32-31, as it was a half full of highlights, and there was a lot of them there from Brayden Winger there. You see the Graham on the alley-oop. And how about in the other corner? There you go. You got a battle of the 11s, Ivory and Winger. And there's MJ Wardlow nearly losing it and collects himself for a big triple. And then again, Wardlow straight away, but the follow nicely done inside by Darrell Desiree. A little pose down there for Desiree. And everything nip and tuck. A little bit better shooting for Howard. They're shooting 50% at halftime, but they've taken 10 less shots than Trinity Valley, who's 11 of 32, 11 of 22 for Howard. But Howard stealing a little momentum that late and one. Gets them the 1-point advantage. Howard 32, Trinity Valley 31. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, Ethan Jordan will visit with Tom McDonald, the chair of the Division I Basketball Committee, after this break on ESPN+.
Halftime here in Hutch. 32-31 lead for Howard over the defending champs Trinity Valley. Near courtside, we've got the chair of the D1 Basketball Committee, Tom McDonald. Tom, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, putting on a good tournament, and both these teams hang their hat on defense, and we have seen that here in this game so far.
Well, they're 2 evenly matched teams. Pretty deep, both of them. We were looking at the stats, almost every category. They're really close or almost tied for everything they do, from points in the paint to turnovers, free throw shooting. They've only missed 1 shot on both sides. So we're in a pretty good place. It's going to be a great next 20 minutes of basketball.
Yeah, and both these teams, like we told you, hang their hat on defense, but that's because of their coaches. Kyle Cooper and Greg Heyer are defensive-minded head coaches, guys that came up playing junior college basketball, and both come from, we got to get a plug for it, from your home state, Iowa. Both got their start out there in the great state of Iowa.
Well, I would just say this, and we talked about it at the press conference yesterday, just about what a great conference it is, and I'll step out of it. But we've got great coaches. I mean, even look at Ben McCollum at the University of Iowa. He's a NIAC grad. So we're really fortunate. But I think what's really a great testament, great story is their journey, and that's what we got to listen to yesterday in the press conference. Just their journey through coaching, because it's amazing how every coach that comes out of junior colleges, they just have a different path. And now we look at these two, and since 2013, I don't think either one. I know Coach Cooper's only played 2, but Coach Hires, I think, 11-0 down the stretch in these games.
Well, the part that amazed me was the coaching tree. They brought up some of the coaches that they coached for or that coach for them that are around. It's incredible how far those roots go. All right, you are the chair, basketball committee, so you knew I was going to ask you about seeding. Howard is the #1 seed. So far, they look like a #1 seed. How does your committee wind up picking these seeds? How did Howard get chosen as the #1 overall seed?
Well, it's a great question. First of all, we've got a great committee that spends a ton amount of time text messaging, watching, just focusing on the teams that are from their district, and then a bigger picture of the whole country. And you look at just strength of schedule. We have an unbelievable spreadsheet that one of our office people have done, Lori Dotrieve. She's done an unbelievable job of just the analytics, the history of our basketball teams. And then when we get in there, you can look at all the teams they played, the strength of those teams. We don't even go, we go further than that, the strength of the teams they played. So it's just you look at who they played, where they played, when they played them, and then some of the strength of, you know, their region. Not just that year, but we even go back into 3, 5, and 10 years. So we've got so much information. And then when you get to it, you start looking at who they played and where they played them, and then the strength of their entire region.
That's Tom McDonald, the chair of the D1 Basketball Committee. Tom, thanks for your time. When we come back to Hutch, we're getting it on again, 32-31. Basketball back when we come back to Hutchinson. At the half, the #1 seed leads it 32-31. Howard over Trinity Valley. And as we take a look at some stats from halftime, just about as even as you can get. Same amount of made shots, about the same amount of rebounds, assists. You name it, it is pretty darn even right now as the score reflects that, Scott.
Yeah, the only thing, you know, you see the 10 more shots because offensive rebounding was 7-1 in the first half in favor of Trinity Valley. However, they only got 2 second chance points off of those offensive rebounds. So as you mentioned, then everything else, 12-10 points in the paint. There you see the leading scores, the dueling 11s here. Winger and Ivory with 12. I keep getting them mixed up here.
The dueling 11s from Ohio.
Yeah.
Both of them from the same home state. Got to imagine they ran into each other a couple times on the AAU circuit, right?
And you love the free throw shooting. Both of them perfect from the free throw line, and couldn't ask for a better first half. Howard felt like kind of stole the momentum, that three-point play from Ivory right before the half. See if they can capitalize.
They'll have the rock to begin half #2. Copeland trying to get it to Dang, out of bounds, nearly stolen by Monty Henderson, who was all over that pass.
Well, Henderson had a great first half. I mean, he had just the 2 points, but he had 3 assists, and he had 3 offensive rebounds in that first half, plus a steal. Nearly a second there.
He's just one of those guys that passes the eye test. He is such an intelligent player. Dang turns it over. Wardlow able to hold on to this one. Zati Lubaki quiet in half #1 with 2 fouls, sat most of that half. But 0 of 2 from the floor. Wenger anything but, shovels underneath. It's batted around off the backboard, and Dace Pleasant controls. Culberson, the throw for Dang. Nice cut from the big fella.
Oh, man, getting out and running the floor. And Canary, can't believe on the other end, had a little bunny, couldn't finish it. And a little 4-point swing there, you feel like. Trinity Valley should have had a 2, and then the easy stuff for Dang.
You wonder what the mood was like in that locker room. I think calm for Trinity Valley, but I think some internal frustration. Lubaki throws it up, and he will go to the line for 2. Got whacked, I believe, by Dang, and that would be his 3rd.
Yeah, that is huge there if that is, and that is the whistle. Let's watch it again. Lubaki just getting physical, and Dang again brought the arms down right at the last, getting his 3rd.
Well, here's a guy in Zati Lubaki who is cool, calm, and collected at all times. You know he's the kind of guy who can take this game over for Trinity Valley. Would have liked to have made that free throw, I'm sure, but Trinity Valley told us yesterday the mood after that Daytona State game, they won it in overtime. They were relieved to have won the game, but there was a frustration and better kind of attitude. They said their standards in that game, and I wonder if that was kind of the feeling about this first half for the Cardinals.
It could have been, but you feel like, you know, you keep going back to last year because you have to when they won the whole thing. A lot of these players were on that team. They're going to draw off that experience here in the second half. Now that they find themselves trailing really for the first time in the game, we'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, this is the most they've trailed by. Flipped up by Ivory, his first missed shot. And here comes Trinity Valley in a hurry. Henderson gets in deep. As it stripped out of bounds. Pleasant got a hand on it off of Henderson's chest. And the Hawks get the ball back.
Well, great recovery by Dace Pleasant, who's going to check out. Again, didn't play a lot of minutes in the first half, but it looked like Henderson was just going to outrace everybody. And he gets not only got a hand in there, able to knock it off of Henderson, get the possession back.
I have to admit, Scott, the way they've managed his minutes has been kind of interesting for Kyle Cooper. Both this game and the last. Terry Copeland loses the ball, goes to the deck with it, and
we had a whistle.
We had a whistle on the baseline from that official.
Was that a foul?
Yeah. Or was it a travel for Copeland? Did they say he rolled over with the ball? I think so.
Well, but it's still Howard ball.
I
do not know what that call was.
Inadvertent whistle, perhaps. Copeland puts it up. He is fouled. 2 shots coming up for him.
He is like a pinball in there, and you don't say that very often about Copeland, but, I mean, watch the physicality of Trinity Valley just banging around Copeland. And, oh, boy, that's a big one, too. Lubaki nabbed with his 3rd.
So whatever that was, they put it in as a team defensive rebound. Makes it about clear as mud. I have to imagine it was an inadvertent whistle, Scott. That's the only thing I can think of.
Well, because it wasn't a tie-up, and maybe it was just an inadvertent whistle. They went to the scores table and said something briefly and then let Howard inbound, so it may have been. Is now somebody played some great minutes. Sangari checks back in, and you're going to get Ivory an early rest as he was the leading scorer in the first half.
Yeah, Haruna Sangara, 2 of 2 from the floor, 5 points. Added a rebound as well. Came in, hit late free throws in the quarterfinal win. He's played a role all throughout here in the semifinal. 2 of 2 at the line for Copeland. That's where he's done most of his scoring. 4 free throws, just 1 basket.
It's amazing. He has only 4 attempts from the floor, but I guess when 3 guys are on you most of the time, that limits your ability to get away the shots.
Wardlow switch to Dang, using the screen. Now he's got Copeland on him. 7 to shoot, and a foul battling underneath. Dang is going to pick it up, and that is number 4 on Kuwai Dang.
Boy, and it was a pretty easy call. Looked like he had his arms wrapped around Darrell Desiree. We'll see it again. Here you got the switch with Copeland out on Wardlow. And, well, it wasn't as much as I initially thought. Desiree just kind of backing his way down. And
when that whistle blew, Dang's mouth was agape. And he will have to sit for a while. Lubaki pulls up and hits the shot. And now we've got another foul. Copeland and Desiree this time.
Well, I think
which of the 2 are they going to get for this? They banged into each other away from.
I don't think anybody. I think they just stopped play to make sure there wasn't anything further, kind of two players going down, because I think they're just going to inbound the ball. It looks like that, at least.
If that's the call, I like it, because it was just inadvertent contact. They ran into each other, and two big fellas went to the deck.
Copeland quizzing one of the officials as he's already gone to the other end with, well, it was Desiree he was tangled up with. They're kind of still discussing the last
Brandon Ivory has returned for Howard.
And also, you got in Yingma, who played good minutes in the first half.
Tishbangu, Copeland, instantly double teamed, trying to split it, and got raked as he did so. And
oh, now Lubaki's got 4. And Greg Heyer is about to have an aneurysm over at the Trinity Valley bench. Let's see.
Well, it's that arm that comes down and hits Copeland in the arm that sprung the ball free.
Wow, 2 frontliners going to have to sit a while.
We told you that though Howard did not do much against this defense, they did get a bunch of the guys into foul trouble, and we're seeing the fruits of that here. Open look in the corner. It's Culberson.
Wow, the ball got stripped away. A nice double in the paint by Najee Graham, but right out. Great find in the corner. And the dagger there from Culberson.
5-point lead for the number 1 seeded Hawks. 17 minutes to go. Wenger using the Desiree screen. He runs into a double team. Desiree straightaway 3. Off the heel. Rebound fought for and won by Desiree. Or no, Tishbangu pulls it in. Now Culberson right through the wickets of Terry Copeland.
That was kind of an in-between hop on the bounce pass there from Culberson and right through the legs of Copeland and the turnover. There wasn't many of those turnovers in this game so far. Both teams taking pretty good care of the basketball. Actually, is that just the 7th, I believe, on half. Trinity Valley sitting with only 1 turnover.
But so many in foul trouble.
Yes.
Zatu Lubaki sitting with 4. Wardlow facing up against Tishbangu. Drives the lane, trying to kick it out for 3. It's stolen by Culberson, taken right back by Mercer. Tries to put it in. The follow is there as both Graham and Desiree got in on that act.
Well, I think they'll give it to Graham, and man, for a guard, he has been playing big in this game. If they give it to him, that'll be 6 points. He's added 2 rebounds and just a lot of energy in this lineup for the Cardinals.
Cuts the Howard lead back to 3. Yingma. Tishbangu now dumps it down. Copeland didn't get a double team for once. I don't know if he realized it. Threw it right to Wardlow.
Boy, and when they initially double teamed him, he had Yingma wide open and just didn't see him.
It kind of peeled off of it. He would have had a look at the basket. Henderson couldn't put it in. Desiree helps him get it back.
Yeah, Desiree kept that alive. Almost basket interference. It was underneath the rim, fortunately, for Trinity Valley.
Henderson drops a body, tries to feed the post, and in the way, who is fouled by Desiree. And did he dribble first before the foul?
I think I saw the double.
He also
dribble.
lost a shoe.
It went flying before the violation.
So he will fix his wheel, and we'll take a break. 39-36. Howard still leads here in this physical battle. Culberson with the massive tray. The Credit Union 1 Division I Men's Basketball Championship Semifinals presented by Zurich. It is a 3-point lead for the number 1 seeded Howard Hawks. Look at a couple of numbers we've been keeping our eye on, and The turnovers favoring Trinity Valley. Howard is a team that will turn the ball over, but yet they've been able to manage it enough and have a lead against nation's premier defense by some minds. Now a press on here for Howard as they just really pressured the inbounder there. There's kind of two guys around. Nothing easy getting into the offense here for Trinity Valley. Desiree, difficult shot, looked like it, and Ivory comes away with it in a hurry. Off the glass and in for Tish Bangu. In transition, the Hawks add to the lead.
Fantastic off of the missed shot. The 3-on-2 and the finish. And this is a very small lineup out there on the floor for Trinity Valley. It's almost just a 4-guard with Desiree, really the lone big man.
Rising Wardlow connects on the deuce.
So that means Yingma pretty much has to be out on a smaller player, and Valley, they get the open look down on the baseline. Bigger lineup coming in for the Cardinals at the next dead ball.
Uh-oh, Copeland nearly threw it away. Got him way in the high post. Tish Bangu trying to use a screen, floats it up, back heel, and down the well.
Tish Bangu, great touch in the paint. Just get it up on the rim. Those floaters seem to be very forgiving, and it looks like a timeout for Greg Heyer. He's going to go meet one of his players.
And he is letting Najee Graham know he'll be able to make his substitutions after this break. 43-38. Howard in the lead in a heavyweight fight here in the national semifinals. Trinity Valley getting the J from MJ Wardlow, but the answer from Howard. Tish Bangu has really gotten going here in the last few minutes. And Scott, right now, Trinity Valley has taken 14 more shots than Howard, but they have made one less shot than Howard.
How about efficient for Howard? 15 of 27. 9 of 11 from the line, 4 of 10 from behind the arc. Just the volume hasn't kept up for Trinity Valley.
Sends Sangara to the deck. Henderson tries a three, cannot hit. Offensive rebound for Wenger. To the corner, another triple. This one's good. Davin Mercer gets him back within 2.
Well, Howard out of the timeout had gone into, and that can be the big zone buster right there from Mercer. We'll see if they go back to it next possession.
Ivory. Corner, it's Yingma who's hit a big 3 in this game. Big man gonna back it down, turn around, and put it in. Showing off the skills there, the big fella from France.
How about the touch? He goes right at Braylon Winger on the baseline, and great touch from about 12 feet.
Right now, Howard has had a counterpunch for everything that Trinity Valley has done, and that is way off from Mercer. Same shot he just hit, maybe even more open. 2 open. Sangara clears a man off of him, finds Copeland. Oh, last second decision and a good one from Haruna Sangara, and Copeland does the rest. Cope, answer not there for Wenger. And here comes this Hawk offense again, up 6. Sangara going to the cup himself this time, and a late foul called on Davin Mercer. He thought he got all ball, evidently not.
We'll watch it again. Sangara just kind of lulled him to sleep. That first step, and maybe a little across the wrist there from Mercer, and
it will send Sangara to the line, a place he was clutch for this Howard team in the double overtime game against Butler. So we just got here in the semifinal. You know what? In a weird way, you'd rather have him miss that one than any of the ones that he made against Butler, even though that wasn't as big of a game as this one.
Yeah, but to get to this one, certainly they had to have him. And he's 5 points in this one. That's his first miss. That last dish to Copeland was a bullet, but it showed the soft hands of Terry Copeland to be able to catch that and put it in.
I'm going to make a bet, because this is out of bounds, and will go the way of Trinity Valley. I will make a bet with you that Terry Copeland played some tight end in high school.
I would be shocked if he didn't. I'd like to know what he played defensively. Yeah.
Gamer winner, if I had to guess. That dude at that size?
Wow.
Good luck. Remember, he's only a freshman, so he's 1 year removed from high school. Lubaki almost threw it away. He does in the end. Tishbangu working against two defenders, able to draw the foul. And the fouls are really racking up for Trinity Valley. We already know that Lubaki has 4, and this will be against Wardlow. That is his first, which is the good news. The bad news is free throws coming up for Elijah Tishbangu when we come back to Hutch with Howard up 6, looking to make more after this. Zatu Lubaki, one of the leaders of this Trinity Valley team, the tournament MVP last year in big-time foul trouble, 4 of them. And these Cardinals as a whole kind of playing with fire in the foul column at the moment. Lubaki in there with the 4 fouls. There are still almost 12 minutes to play in this game, Scott. What do you make of the decision for Coach Hire to bring him back in this early?
Well, interesting decision. Kyle Cooper has made the same. He was going to bring Kawhi Dang back in with 4 fouls. So a couple of your stars, I don't know if that was just kind of matching Greg Hire's substitution. It might be, because then you get similar lineups on the floor, but you got to rely on their basketball IQ to keep them on the floor the remaining 11:53.
Tishbangu has been awesome in the absence of Dang. Remember, they made this whole run without Dang on the floor.
Yeah, impressive. And they got out of that zone. That was just one possession of that. And they're going to go match back up man to man.
Trying to keep Trinity Valley on their toes. Largest lead of the night for the Hawks. Lubaki going to work. Oh, gets the friendly roll. That's why he's going to the University of Utah next year, Scott.
I like the way he went into Copeland, took the bang, but that gave him the space, and he's got such great touch on those little intermediate soft jumpers like that, and that was a much-needed basket, just his second.
Lost his footing there, and now Tishbangu wants to go at him, and Lubaki says, get that weak stuff out of here. Leads to a Wanger transition bucket on the other end with Copeland just a half step behind.
Yeah, he kind of looked back to see where Copeland was and just kind of kept him right on his hip and made a nice finish.
Tishbangu underneath for Copeland. He gets fouled hard. Had 2 Cardinals on him. And I wonder if that was part of the strategy. They haven't had to do it too much tonight, but if he does get in deep on you and you're not in foul trouble, just hit him and hope.
Well, I thought they were going to get Canary because he had an arm wrapped around Copeland, but they actually give the foul to Winger, which he can afford one. That is just his first. And Copeland so far 4 of 6 here at the free throw line.
He's had to do most of his work from the free throw line. Just 2 made baskets on 5 shots.
Yeah,
he
took
actually 3 times that many in the limited minutes he played in the last game. Final. He took, I think, 17, 18 shots in that game. He goes 1 of 2 at the stripe, but Dang the rebound, using his length, kicks it out. Culberson couldn't get it to drop.
That would have been a huge 3 for the Hawks. It would have rebuilt that 8-point advantage. You feel like Trinity Valley maybe has found something. They can make it a 1-possession game. And I'd like to see them. Winger hasn't been involved in the offense the second half.
Lubaki was trying to dance with Culberson, lost the dribble. Now he's in a double team, in big trouble. Touched out by Copeland.
Good decision. Lubaki just looked down, thought he could get it off of Copeland's foot out of bounds. It was his only chance other than burn a timeout, which you didn't want to do there because you only have 2 left. And you did it with enough time, 8 left on the shot clock.
And a foul on the inbound here, so that will fix the shot clock problem for Trinity Valley.
Sangara, his second. Copeland was there, but they whistled it on Sangara.
So back to a fresh 20. Henderson got it back from Wenger, challenges at the rim. Oh boy, he hung there but just couldn't quite put it in.
Good defense by Sangara to make sure he just went straight into the air.
Oh,
Then Henderson
read that the whole way. Down the lane, left-handed layup is good.
Monty Henderson.
The silky southpaw with under 10 minutes to play gets him within 3.
Just his second field goal. They go with those 4 rebounds. But a huge one there to make it a 1-possession game for the Cardinals about halfway through our second half.
Dang, got it way away from the basket. Takes 1.5 steps to get right there, but pushed away by Lubaki. The rebound attempt, no, and neither big man for Howard can finish.
And that is a...
Henderson could not hit the 3. Dang was pulled down as he was trying to get the rebound. And that is going to be number 5 on Zati Lubaki. And the reigning tournament MVP will have to come out early. 9:21 to play in the semifinal, and he is done.
He may have just gotten a technical as well, which he was done either way, but of course that is going to add free throws to this possession if that is what's happened. Let's see where we can see it. They call a hold.
Oh, look at the shoulder. Oh, yeah, he grabbed his arm.
And then kind of went around as well of Dang.
You could see that Dang was almost looked like he was doing a stretch where he was trying to touch his toe on one side. And this is where the technical came in. And, yeah.
I see. Shoved Dang. Dang said something. It didn't look like it was a malicious something.
Well,
as they're going to review something as well.
They're just checking to make sure they didn't miss anything, any action probably from Dang. But he just said something. I would venture to say it wasn't anything kind to.
Wasn't an address for a Christmas card or anything like that?
No. No. I'm sure there was some smack talk there, and Lubaki, who was already frustrated from fouling out of the game, took out his frustration.
So what that does, obviously Lubaki was already out. It'll add a team foul. They'll get the personal and the team foul.
Well, and the team foul could be a major factor as well. Obviously the 2 free throws, we know about that, but that's the 6th. It'll be bonus the rest of the way for Howard. And in such a tightly contested game, the race to the bonus and the double bonus very much favors the Howard Hawks.
Which I was thinking there was 5 team fouls before the personal foul, so I'm wondering if they have updated that. It could actually be 7. Because the technical would go to that, and maybe they haven't added it yet. We'll see. I think we'll get an explanation. Our officials have been great with us this week.
Nick Agris, Colton Jeldon, and Charles Howell Jr. are officials tonight. So as we suspected, it is a foul against Lubaki. He then picked up the tech. So Howard will shoot 2 free throws and have the rock when we resume.
Well, and you just felt like Trinity Valley was grabbing some momentum. Then you have your star player foul out, get a technical. So Howard, as you mentioned, 2 shots in the ball could really steal that momentum right back. So
Greg Heyer talking to anyone who will listen, and even those probably who would rather not.
They did update it, so that is 7 team fouls now.
Oh, Brandon Ivory will take the 2 free throws. Gets a little love on the first one. It's been perfect at the line today, now 4 of 4. For a guy who, as I told you earlier, does not shoot free throws particularly well. He has clutched up here in the biggest game of the season.
Yep, got the roll on both of them, but nice soft touch, and now you'll get the possession as well. So you're looking at potential 4 or 5 point possession and a big swing.
So it's Dang, Culberson, Ivory, Tishbengu, and of course Terry Copeland in there for Howard.
You'll see an interesting stat sheet as they actually put a 6th foul in Lubaki's category because you have to have that towards the team fouls. Interesting little stat note there if you're a stat nerd, kind of like I am.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Copeland fouled by Canary, who's trying to say my hands were straight up, and the frustration with the officiating continues for Trinity Valley as teammates trying to get him to settle down.
Well, you wonder if there was a misassignment because Desiree kind of looked and then he's trying to sprint to double because Copeland, for a rare moment in this game, was going to have a one-on-one opportunity. There you see Desiree coming in late. And Canary, just his first foul, probably not a bad foul.
No, you figured that was going to be a bucket instead of a 1-and-1. Copeland, to his credit, gives himself a second free throw.
He's now 6 of 9.
So what do you do now if you're Trinity Valley, Scott? Your best player, your tournament MVP from last year is out of the game, and you find yourself in a hole to a team that plays really good defense. I know Greg Heyer is getting paid a lot more money than you do to figure this out, but what would you do in this situation?
Winger has not been involved much at all in the offense. I would love to see you set a high screen or something to get him involved in the offense here the next couple of minutes.
Henderson kicks it out to him. There you go. And Winger, he's involved all right.
Maybe I need a pay raise there. We got Winger back involved, and he dribbled much. I mean, you can't overemphasize how needed that was after that foul out and technical to get back within 4.
Tishbengu, when they've needed a settled down bucket, he's had it, but Ivory takes over that role with the tap in.
Brandon Ivory on his 4th rebound is going to get the easy putback. He's leading the way with 16.
He's really navigating himself into an all-tournament team the way he's played last game and tonight. Desiree had the positioning, gets swarmed. Canary tries to throw it in, batted away from Dang, and Ivory comes up with it. And we have a foul away from the ball.
Oh.
Dang and Canary collided.
Who got the foul?
That is huge. And Dang, I think, is talking some trash to the Trinity Valley bench.
Because if it was Dang, that would be his 5th.
Right.
I couldn't tell by the official, and it is Dang. He is out.
So both teams lose a critical player here for the final 7:57. And things are getting a little bit chippy here in Hutch. 56-50, Howard in the lead in the semifinal. Here's a look at the foul that has knocked Kawhi Dang out of this game. You felt like maybe there's some mutual contact there, Scott, but.
You know, I'm a fan in that situation. Both players going for the basketball, both kind of contacting one another, maybe to just say who's got the ball and let it go, but maybe they had a little bit better look as they do out on the floor. So now Dang out.
And for Valley the possession.
So you got 2 frontliners, Lubaki out for Trinity Valley, Dang out for Howard, so things always seem to even out. Let's see how the benches perform.
Winger, bigger defender on him, don't matter. He has been trying to carry this Cardinal team tonight, and he's carried them back within 4. 19 points for Braylon Wenger.
Well, they kind of got away from him. He's got the last 5 now on the last 2 possessions.
Ivory pumps, pulls up from deep, left it short. Rebound saved by Desiree.
Boy, Desiree and Howard down in the point with the big man. They are really mixing it up right now.
Desiree goes flying.
Yes, he does.
I suspect Daniel Culberson did not throw him that hard, and they're going to look at it. I think Desiree may have helped sell the foul a bit. Don't get me wrong, it was probably a foul. It's just, I don't know. He looked like a crash test dummy. They're going to look for a potential flagrant foul.
Yeah.
I'm going to stake my money that they won't find anything, but as we know, I have been wrong about that all week long, so do not listen to me.
Well, we've put our heads together and been wrong this week.
Let's see it.
That's right.
So there's Desiree. Well,
he definitely assisted, I think, in the aftermath.
I think what's going to hurt Tish Bengu there is that's a clear and obvious push. It's not like he was grappling for position. He just put two hands into his chest. No upgrade on the play. Okay.
I think the only thing that they might have been able to look and see if there was is if the two-handed push came up into the chin or something and got into the face area. But
we've seen a couple upgrades for that unnecessary contact this week. That's kind of the route I thought they might choose, but I think maybe even in that situation, Desiree's acting prowess may have hurt him getting that technical call.
Big possession. Trinity Valley get it to one possession.
Wardlow rises on the inbound, connects.
And that was the other player I was thinking of, MJ Wardlow again. He's also been fairly quiet here in the second half. You drew up a play to get him the shot on the inbound. He comes through, 2-point game.
Tish Bengu looking for options. Terry Copeland's a pretty good one. Oh, how about the patience from the big fella? We've seen him be physical, but that time using his patience, and oh boy, Greg Heyer has exploded off the bench. How in the world did he not get a technical?
Well, I think maybe
he was on the logo.
He was furious with his own team. That was a Howard timeout taken. I have to guess that there was supposed to be a clear double team, and there was none. You just have not seen Terry Copeland get any one-on-one looks, and nobody came over to help. Let's see again. Well, we'll see the intensity there in Greg Heyer.
He could have gone to the basket, Scott, and been physical as we've seen him do so often. You get a look at important basket there from Wenger.
The back-to-back there from Wenger.
And he's been doing it all for Trinity Valley. 19 points. Nobody else in double figures for the Cardinals. But Copeland kind of just leaned back and said, you know what, you're going to have two underneath. I'll just give myself some space, and was able to put it in. He's got 13. They've limited him, but he's been to the line 10 times, and thus in double figures.
Yeah, and basket for Copeland. He's got 13 now and 7 rebounds. So still making his impact felt.
We're never going to stop him, but Trinity Valley doing their best to limit maybe the nation's best JUCO player. Desiree thought he got fouled. It's out of bounds and will stay. Copeland got right up on him. Evidently got ball and maybe a little bit extra that the officials didn't see.
Yeah, I think they got Yingma on the backside batting that out of bounds.
On the inbound, Ivory had it touched up by Tish Bengu. Comes away with the rock. Ivory in his hip pocket is fouled. Elijah Tish Bengu, the sophomore out of Brussels, Belgium, has been the ultimate floor general from a forward position for this team. Anytime they need a basket, need it to settle down, he's been the guy, and he has been perfect at the line tonight. 10 points on 4 of 4 shooting at the free throw line.
We've seen every game now in this tournament, Ethan. Have you seen anybody that has a better Euro step in transition than Tish Bengu in this tournament? He can really make up a lot of ground in a couple of steps.
You know who has a pretty nasty Euro step, Scott? He might have some competition from his 6'10 teammate. Kawhi Dang has a really gnarly Euro.
That'd be a great fun practice to see who had the best Euro step and could cover the most distance.
I know these players. It's been brought up on the bus at least at one point.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Nah, I have it. And I'm sure they'll still debate it long after their careers are over. Wardlow cannot hit. Rebound off a knee, out of bounds. It is going the way of Howard.
Yeah, they're going to say Winger on the backside going for an offensive rebound. Brought it down, went right off his own knee. And now a little full court pressure, which really hasn't affected either team tonight.
Of course it is a semifinal, Scott. You expect the game to be close, but Howard has not really been able to put away Trinity Valley. And just with championship mentality, I wonder if it'll come back to hurt him. Elijah Tish-Bangu doing a little work to do just that, though. Puts him up 7.
He goes around the horn, under the basket to the little reverse, and now Greg Heyer wants a timeout. He's going to use one of his remaining 2. Kind of feeling that lead, stretching out again to 7. Let's watch that last one. And Copeland screened off Desiree nicely in the paint. And that was a pretty easy bucket, really. You know, Tish-Bangu's finished that one a lot of times.
So 5:43 left to play. Trinity Valley trails by 7. The offense at times has been poured in by from Wenger. And we'll see where it comes from.
You've got 3 players for Howard in double figures. Ivory 16, Copeland, and Tish-Bangu at that last basket 13. Winger carrying the load. He's the only Cardinal in double figures with 19. MJ Wardlow, he's close. He's got 9. Maybe he can get hot. Mercer, he's been quiet here in the second half. 7. Graham 6. Lubaki's out. So somebody here with this experienced defending champion is going to have to step up down the remaining 5:43 other than Winger.
Did you know only 53% of college students felt prepared to manage their money? Well, Credit Union One has partnered with the NJCAA to provide student financial education to build a stronger financial. CreditUnionOne.org to learn more. Credit Union One, the proud title sponsor of the NJCAA Division I Men's and Women's Basketball Championships.
Well, if you're wondering, team fouls, it's 2 shots the rest of the way for Howard. Trinity Valley at 9. Howard themselves only 5 at this point.
What do the champs have left? Down 7, 5:30 to play.
Boy, Desiree working hard, but they can't get him a touchdown in the paint.
Wenger working on Ivory. Ohio on Ohio. Dumps it off, long shot, Desiree, short off the rim, and Culberson collects.
Great defensive segment there by Howard. They forced Desiree out to a 16-footer, which he's very capable of hitting, but you didn't let Wardlow or Winger get any kind of a good look.
Desiree, I tell you what, he lost his man for a moment there. Tish-Bangu leaked out. Instead, it is Culberson with the 3. A foul underneath. It will go against Howard. And
Desiree on the deck picking himself up, and it looks like Copeland, and I think that's only his second, and it is. See if we can see here. And a little clear out there, I guess.
Well, we talked about how he might have played tight end. That's the stiff arm he would have used at that position, and you can't do that in this sport.
And that last possession, Trinity Valley had slipped into a zone defense. So each team has rolled out the zone very minimally. Possession here, possession there. Kind of sense a little indecisiveness here on the offensive end for Trinity Valley, where they want to go.
Missing Lubaki perhaps, though they have experience and good players out there. Got to step up. Wenger, he's stepped up all night long.
How about the pump fake and a step back from Braylon Winger for his 4th triple of the ball game. He's got 22 and makes it a 4-point game. He's been stepping up when they've needed him the most.
Will it be enough? Howard has had answer after answer tonight. Do they have another? Yingma does. And there's a foul underneath, offensive foul. Will they count the basket?
The outside official that called the foul,
they're going to look at it,
said the 3 was good, so I think that's the call on the floor.
Well, let's see. Here's the 3 in the corner. It was after the shot went off, certainly.
That should count from what we just saw there. Copeland got the arm up around the head of a player there, but it was after the release.
And the officials, as you said, Scott, were clear that the basket was good, but they are going to look at it. Now they're going to look at it for a potential flagrant.
I'd like to see another look.
I was looking at shot when it happened. I'd like to see it as well.
It's up around the shoulders, and I don't know if it went further than that. If we do have another look, there's a possibility here. Let me put it that way. This will be a great angle. If the official, he'll be out of our view.
Well, it came in the face area. So with it, any of that contact to the face, head, neck area, that can get you in trouble. We'll put it that way.
It's going to be close. It was a quick swipe, but like I said, they're looking for not just excessive, any contact to the head and neck area can draw. And they've concluded their huddle after they huddle by the replay officials. And it's a big decision here because Trinity Valley now down 3 possessions. They would have possession again, plus the 2 shots.
And the 2 shots could get them back within 2 scores. There's still a lot of time left, but the way this game has gone, the defense of these 2 teams, it feels like already, even with 4:04 to go, that you need to start taking advantage of these opportunities if you're Trinity Valley.
Oh, you have to, especially, again, it seems like forever ago that Lubaki fouled out for you, and then, of course, Dang followed for Howard. But it seems like it has affected Trinity Valley a little bit more than the Dang foul. I mean, both are missed greatly by both teams, but just the way this game has gone with just really winger scoring for you, you just kind of feel like that affected them a little bit more, and this is a long discussion after watching the monitor.
When you look at Trinity Valley players who maybe could come and help out Braylon Wenger, I think normally your choice would be Monty Henderson, but he has struggled mightily from the floor, just 2 of 10, 0 from downtown, but he did clutch up at the end of their game with Daytona, helped give them the lead that they carried into the win. As we look at it again, it wasn't a hard hit to the head, but it was a hit to the face. And so I think that's why this discussion has continued for so long is how hard do I have to hit you in the head or neck area for it to be a flagrant foul?
Yeah, and they're taking their time as they should. National semifinal. Now we'll get updated.
So the foul is a common foul against who we thought it was, Terry Copeland. But it does occur in the bonus. So Trinity Valley will get to walk the length of the court and shoot 2. They will come from Darrell Desiree, a 63% foul shooter. And so he can still, though not retaining possession, doing so, can still make this a 2-score game.
Well, and the free throw line has been a difference. Howard is 17 of 23. Trinity Valley is 7 of 8, a 10-point difference there.
They cut into that here. Desiree missed the 1-and-1.
Whoa, what a potential big turn there was. And now on the other flip side, with a 3, you could make this a 4-possession game. And it's Trinity Valley back to the zone and a steal.
Henderson coming up big with the steal and the bucket. Thought about it, but it went down.
Well, and that's where Henderson's been making his hay tonight, causing havoc defensively. Got 3 early offensive rebounds. Now a big steal and basket.
Ingma has looked to shoot, does not hear. Maybe some time wasting already for Howard. And to get it to Copeland, he was fouled from behind as Mercer came over the top. So that is team foul number 9 against Trinity Valley, or is that 10?
I think it's going to be 10.
So two shots will come up here for Terry Copeland. Can re-extend the lead when we come back here to Hutch. (64-59). Howard leads Trinity Valley. Starting to get down to the real nitty-gritty. 3:18 to play. So take a look at our game summary. Points in the paint favoring Howard College as they have throughout this tournament. And you see the two number 11s there. The thing is, Brandon Ivory's gotten help. Braylon Winger really hasn't.
Yeah, Winger, going to get back down to the scoring. It's still the only player in double figures for Trinity Valley. He's got 22, and then it goes down to MJ Wardlow with 9. Davin Mercer with 7. And Copeland 7 of 10 here at the charity stripe. Big miss there.
Good for him that it was the 10th foul. Otherwise, probably would not have gotten another.
Howard's been whistled for 7 fouls, so it's still 1-and-1s right now for Trinity Valley. And I think they gave that point to the wrong team on the scoreboard. It was 64-59. It should be 65-59. And
yeah.
Kyle Cooper is well aware of what we're talking about.
Boy, that would have been useful for Trinity Valley. Cut it back
there
to 4, but instead the lead is 6. Still a 2-score game either way, I guess. But yeah, Braylon Winger, those 22 points, 7 of 14 shooting. They're going to try and find some ways to screen him open, do whatever they can to ride his hot hand.
Now, Najee Graham being guarded by Yingma. If you could isolate that.
Instead, Henderson goes to the cup. Goaltending from Copeland. That was well on its way down.
So Henderson's got 8, but I'm thinking Najee Graham with the speed. If you could open up something, he might be able to drive to the basket on the bigger Yingma. We'll see what Greg Heyer wants to do, but Henderson, great time for just his 4th basket.
But one concern tonight is there's Henderson again.
And
a
foul.
steal and draws the foul. He will go to the line to make this a 1-score game.
Well, Monty Henderson coming up absolutely huge in this one with his floor game. Wanted to double check on the steals. That would be his 4th. Got 6 assists, 8 points, and 5 rebounds. Now a huge 1-1. Oh, he missed it.
Absolutely brutal. He looks at his hands in frustration. And that kind of describes the night so far for Trinity Valley. 2:45 to flip that script. Would need to start with a stop.
Now they're in confusion here what Trinity Valley defense they're in. They're wanting to stay in this zone.
Back step. Ivory missed everything but the net. Culverson tried to reel it in, could not. And Trinity Valley given a little bit of a gift there, Scott.
Yeah, said there was a lot of confusion on their rotation, and then Ivory, who's been hot tonight, that was way short. And again, another possession to get this down to 2 or 1.
Wardlow going to try and do it, cannot. Copeland sees it batted out of bounds. It is going the other way, no doubt.
Yeah, Canary hit that
from our vantage point. The Canary whacked that out.
Definitely.
Putting his own cheerleaders in danger.
You're going to use a challenge here if you're Greg Heyer. To see.
Maybe that finger snuck in at the end from
I will say
Copeland. I don't know.
The official under the basket conferred with the outside official on to get together on that. So maybe that prompted Greg. He hasn't used one, so.
Let's have a look.
Oh, that is.
It's close. I didn't see anything there to overturn the call on the floor.
It's closer than I initially thought it would be watching at full speed.
But did you see anything definitive as to Copeland touching the ball, at least on that angle?
From the one look we've got, no.
But they're going to slow it down. They're going to look at 3-4 different angles down there. Maybe we'll get another angle to look at here as well.
I think it's a good challenge nonetheless. You got 2 of them. You haven't used one. 2:11 left, a 2-possession game. You need that possession if you're Greg Heyer. I think it's a good use of his first challenge for sure. And we'll get another look here. This will be a good look from behind.
Both contacting it there. I think that, if anything, shows to me that Canary touched it last. I certainly didn't see anything that told me that Copeland was the guy there.
Again, the call on the floor is so important in these situations, which says Howard basketball. We believe it will stand. It would not be the first time in the week we've been wrong on these lengthy reviews. But still, for Trinity Valley, Winger with 22 remains the only player in double figures. Is there a Cardinal that's going to have a huge shot down the stretch? Maybe that's Monty Henderson.
Yeah, he's made his impact on the defensive end.
He's 4 of 12 from the floor. 3 of 9 for Wardlow. Mercer 3 of 5. Graham 3 of 7 shooting. That's really your lineup out there. Desiree 1 of 5.
Well, there's the Cardinal cheer team. They're nationally known. That is the thing about Trinity Valley, and it's something that Greg Heyer talks about. It's not just him, his team, or his staff. It's they live in with the other athletes, and pretty much every team at Trinity Valley is good. They're at least ranked nationally, if not, in the championship conversation. He says that really motivates his players. Softball's is ranked in the top 25, and cheer, they just went to the national final.
You think there's some trash talk between sports there, is what you're saying?
Yeah, you kidding me? So the call stands, as we suspected.
Timeout. Timeout gone. So that was the other thing I wasn't thinking about. The downside to the challenge, you just lost your last timeout. I wanted to confirm that. I was pretty sure, but that is really big now, trailing by a couple possessions and no timeouts.
So the press on here for Trinity Valley, trying to get the rock back, down by 4.
They're going to stick with that zone. They're going to look to trap if they get an opportunity.
Culberson trying to use the screen. Under 10 to shoot. It's knocked away. There's the steal for Trinity Valley.
Great defense by Winger. The help defense knocked it away.
Can cut it to a 2 or 1 point lead. Tie up, jump ball. It'll stay with the Cardinals, but the possession arrow here in these final 100 seconds will go the way of Howard.
Yeah, if you certainly, Trinity Valley, you're hoping for a reach-in foul or something like that, but that was the right call.
Get it in to Wenger, pulls up, and is fouled on the jumper. He was hoping to see it tickle the twine. It did not. So all he can do is cut it to 2.
They're going to get Tish Bangu. It's going to be his third. You can see Tish Bangu kind of throwing his leg out like hey, didn't he draw some unnecessary contact there for the foul, but a good shooter at the line so far in this one. Winger has made all 4.
77% for the year. That's going up.
A big one here.
Can cut it back to 2.
Now I expect the full court pressure. They're going to look like man up here in the full court. Oh, no, it is a zone press. Good disguise.
They get it across with Tish Bangu. Under 90 seconds to play. Howard leading the reigning champs by 2. Culberson out to Ivory, sidestep for 3. Little strong, it's tapped, up and in.
Culberson in there.
Yeah, he along with Yingma get a piece of it, but it is Daniel Culberson who will be credited with a basket that pushes it back to a 4-point lead for the Hawks.
What a time for one of your guards, Culberson, only his second basket. But there, nobody with a body on him in there.
But how about Yingma, who basically boxed out for his guy to tap it in?
Yeah, he got a big assist from Yingma there. I think that was Desiree that he had screened off.
And I know Culberson just put that basket in, but Victor Yingma, having played limited minutes in this tournament, we've talked about all of the guys who have stepped up for Howard throughout, and Yingma coming through huge today. The play there, but he also has 8 threes. Freshmen for Howard that have had their moment here on the national stage.
Yeah, I wanted to double check here in the Butler game. He played 1:08 to give you an idea in the quarterfinals. And the last minutes we had at the last timeout, Yingma had played over 17, and now it's probably approaching 20 because they have not taken him out. And Pleasant has played very sparingly again for the Hawks.
So Trinity Valley, take it down to a minute to go. Down 4, need a bucket. Wardlow kicks. Graham gives it back, puts up the 3, rattles in! MJ Wardlow just does hit the triple, and this is a 1-point game, 47 seconds to go here in Hutch.
How about in and out and back in for Wardlow? And now a huge possession. Can Howard answer with a field goal?
Culberson underneath. Copeland is fouled.
Boy, that was a hard, aggressive foul by Canary, but he made sure it wasn't going to be an and one. But where do you go? You go to your big man when you need a basket.
It has been a grinded out kind of night for Terry Copeland. Trinity Valley has played him as well as we've seen maybe since December. And he has felt the physical toll of it as he takes an extra long walk to the free throw line for 2 huge ones.
He was very slow to get up, so that foul had a little impact on him.
And he missed the first.
He's now 8 of 13.
This will be at least a 2-point game for Trinity Valley. And Terry Copeland, it is his job to make sure it is a 2-point game.
Battle of a couple of teams out of Texas here in Hutch.
And Copeland does make the second. 2 points the lead. Trinity Valley has not had an advantage for the longest time.
How fast will they try to get a shot here in case they do not score?
3-second separator. Henderson can't finish at the rim. It is rebounded by Tish Banyu.
You've got a foul.
And Henderson will do so twice. The rim, the net has betrayed Monty Henderson. He's seen it circle but not fall. And now you've got Tish Banyu at the line, who has been a poor free throw shooter the entire year. Not so in the tournament. Tonight he is 5 of 6, and the lead is 3. Can Elijah Tish Banyu make this a 2-score game?
And remember, Trinity Valley out of timeouts, so they have to know the strategy here. You got to go at least go for a 3. If not, you need to go hard to the rim and get a quick 2.
It's 4. Huge from Elijah Tish Banyu.
That's an inbound violation.
And the inbound violation for Najee Graham. Howard basketball. And they are on their feet behind the Howard bench.
Oh my goodness.
Unreal. 2 shots at the rim that would not go.
Oh, you had
an inbound violation. Kind of gone wrong here for the champs in the final couple minutes of this one.
There was confusion with Canary and Graham.
Let's see. Canary.
Oh, wow. Need to rewind. Right there, I wasn't seeing it. Let's see if we can get another look at that. That's what the officials are going to look at.
So after the free throw make, regardless, it's a two-score game. Clutch free throws from the guy who has been Mr. Cool for Howard in this tournament, Elijah Tishbangyu. He's got 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He's done it all tonight for his Howard Hawks. Now, let's see. Love to see this again. What are you planning on if you're Greg Heyer in this huddle? You have to be able to plan the offense and the defense just in case.
Well, we'll get the.
That's a tip. The tip in earlier from Culberson that was so massive in this game.
Yeah, that was not what they're reviewing here. So it looks like they've taken one last look at it at the review table. And it's so critical. You lose possession here if you're Trinity Valley. You have to defend the inbound and foul immediately if you don't get a steal. So again, we'll await the 3 most watched men on the floor at this point.
Nick Agris, Colton Jeldon, Charles Howell Jr. talking about it. So let's pretend for a moment, Scott. I'm sure they had to look at the clock a little bit too, so that's probably why this is taking extra long. Let's pretend for a moment that it is Trinity Valley basketball, because if it's not, that's a whole nother can of worms and not good news for the Cardinals. If it is their ball, what's the play here with what I'm guessing will be about 15 seconds on the clock?
I think a lot of coaches want to roll it in as far as you can, obviously. Pick it up. I think you go hard to the basket and see if you can get a quick 2 and extend the game. If it's blocked, you got to kick it out. Right now, I think there's enough time, but the trouble is you get a 2, then you foul, and they make 2, then you're back in the boat probably without a paddle because you'd be down to probably 7 seconds.
So it stays with Trinity Valley. There was a clock error. That is why the officials say play was stopped. 14.8 on the game clock. So like we thought, about 15 seconds. So Trinity Valley not dead yet, but it still looks – it's still an uphill climb here for the champs.
Well, let's say immediate disaster avoided there on the potential inbound violation, which they said since there was a clock malfunction, there never was an illegal inbound. So Trinity Valley gets the basketball. Now we'll see what Greg Heyer chooses to do. It looks like he wants to get a sub. First thing, he wants to bring Mercer in. And that could be an extra 3-point shooter to shoot my theory out of the water of just going hard to the basket.
Well, if you hit the 3, you get a quick foul, then you have a chance to tie, even if they miss. That's kind of the reason you go that route. But obviously, if you have a free lane to the rim, do you take it? That all up to Greg Heyer. And I would think normally you'd want to put the ball in the hands of Monty Henderson to make those decisions for you.
Yes.
He has missed his last 2 shots at the rim, but I think you have to trust your sophomore point guard here if you're the Cardinals.
Well, he didn't allow Mercer in. They wanted to get Canary out and Mercer in, but there has to be a play before that happens.
All right, 15 seconds to decide who's going to the championship. They need to get a shot off,
You're taking
Scott.
way too much
and they
time.
turn it over. Howard collects. Appropriately, it's Ivory who takes it to the cup and puts this one in the books. The Lone Star State's only big enough for one. And it's the #1 seed, the Howard Hawks, going to the national championship.
And again, uncharacteristic confusion on that last possession. He didn't even get a shot away, the turnover, but the Hawks showed why they are the #1 overall seed. They put 3 in double figures led by Ivory's 18, Tish Bangyu, Copeland 15, Tish Bangyu, those big free throws down the stretch. And for the game, you shoot over 52% on 20 less shots than Trinity Valley, but you only make 2 less field goals, and you get 12 more at the line.
Here's a look at our bracket. So Howard will meet either Southern Idaho or Gulf Coast State. Hey, if you're a Howard fan, you want to know who it's going to be, you can find out in about 20 minutes right here on ESPN Plus. Tomorrow's ball game on ESPNU, so get out the TV remote for that. Here's some final stats from the evening, and, well, if you want to win the belt, you got to beat the champ, and Howard has taken care of that much at least here tonight as they down Trinity Valley to go to the national championship. 72-66. Howard wins it for our entire tremendous crew. Our guy, Mike, running the show. Our great crew has been here all week. Scott Hogan. I'm Ethan Jordan saying so long. Good night for now if you're joining us for the next one from Hutch. But it is the Howard Hawks with the 72-66 win. They are going to the national championship game here in Hutchinson.